And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We talked about our WWE SmackDown preview, and now we're going to jump on into WWE NXT Heatwave predictions. Once again, hope you guys had an amazing 4th of July. Hope you guys stayed safe. Hopefully you guys aren't too hungover, and if you are, what time is it? It's 8 o'clock. Dude, grab another drink, man. Chill out. The best way, fight fire with fire. Hair of the dog, baby. Hair of the dog. The best way to get over a hangover is, sipping on your favorite beverage once again, but, not too recklessly. So make sure, have your favorite drink, have your favorite snack, and tune in to Eric's GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. But before we move on any further, I want to remind you guys that we get a number of questions from viewers like you during the show. To ensure that your question gets read on air in front of millions of viewers, hopefully. I asked you guys to use the GSMCpodcast.net for the tips and donations link. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your predictions for NXT Heatwave. Would absolutely love your predictions. Would absolutely love them to go into in-depth analysis on talking about it. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here just to mumble on and on and on for an hour, although I feel like I do. I feel like in an hour, I try to avoid, there's something in the journalism world as a dead air where you kind of have it like, I try to avoid that. I try to avoid that at all times, but sometimes it's inevitable where I kind of get caught thinking about things and I'm like, ooh, no, who's better, The Undertaker or Kane? And, who, the Brothers of Destruction, or whatever, who was it's hard sometimes talking about professional wrestling. Sports, it's the sports. Sports, you have that pondering. You also have that thought in the back of your mind. You have this sports is something in the world that I feel like I can't even explain. It's kind of a cop out to be like, oh, it's so exciting. It's so awesome. Get your blood boiling. Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. But there's something deep down inside about sports, professional wrestling. Something deep down about that. Something about that niche that just scratches and it just feels so damn good. So damn good. And you watch it and you're like, oh, kind of like watching football. Watching football, you have your Sunday ticket going on. It's like it's heaven. You're like, damn, I just watched my kid being born. And that satisfaction comes nothing to like watching football. I'm just kidding. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Kind of. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Moving on. So let's talk about our second segment. We have NXT Heatwave happening on Sunday in Toronto, Ontario, Canada at Scotiabank Arena. Should be pretty awesome. I think it's going to be pretty awesome. NXT has been hitting on some pretty good PLEs lately. Obviously, with with TNA kind of being their recent, Charlie Dempsey once again was in TNA, kind of crazy. So Nathan Fraser and Axiom, the WWE NXT World Champions, aren't really on the same page right now. They're not on the same page. They were a pretty successful tag team. I thought they were going to lose a bunch of times. The AOP. I thought they were going to lose to the OC on Battleground. I'm waiting for these guys to lose. And it just occurred to me that I'm like, these guys are pretty good together. These guys are really good tag team champions. Right now, they're going against Duke Hudson and Andre Chase of Chase U, which kind of has inner turmoil between themselves right now at the moment. Ridge Holland has been barred from coming to Toronto. Is he gonna be in Toronto? Is he gonna be like, you're gonna see him in the crowd? Classic WWE, where you see him in the crowd and you're like, you never said I couldn't come as a fan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's gonna happen. And that will ultimately kind of be the distraction that maybe Nathan Fraser and Axiom need to win. But right now, I feel like Chase U is on fire. I feel like the tag team titles on Chase U would make more sense, in my opinion. But I don't know. Right now I'm kind of 50-50. I'm 50-50 right now with this match. I've been banking on Fraser and Axiom to lose for about 5 or 4 months now, and it's just never happened. So I'm like, oh shit, like maybe I should, move on to the other side. So right now I'm, 50-50, don't really know who's going to win. But if I was an NXT head writer, I feel like the tag team champions losing to Chase U would kind of build up a little more storylines. But that's just, but that's just my prediction, my opinion. Not right all the time, but yeah, I feel like that'd be pretty badass. But moving on, we also have sorry, why isn't this working? There we go. Next we have Kaylani Jordan defends her WWE NXT Women's North American Championship against Soruka. Soruka still, I believe, is not 100%. Kaylani Jordan, she's that sweetheart. She kind of I kind of compared her to Bailey on a couple of shows ago. And you can kind of see that she's a former gymnast. She's like if Simone Biles comes over to the WWE, that's Kaylani Jordan. Athletic as hell, has all the accolades, all the all the accomplishments to be a recognizable and a notable women's athlete. Absolutely impressive, not taking anything away from her with that. But in terms of professional wrestling, I just feel like she doesn't really have that kind of like that. Oh man, I can't explain it. Kind of like that backbone, I guess you can say, where you see someone walk out with the title rock and they're like Noma could touch me. You know what I mean? She doesn't have that bravado. She doesn't have that sense of like I said, it's hard to explain. But Kehlani Jordan, I feel like after maybe a couple of successful title defenses, she'll get there. But I felt like Soruka, the reason why this championship was made was for her to win it. I feel like she's electric. She has the fans behind her. Whenever she comes out, she cuts pretty good promos. It could be a way for these two friends to ultimately become the next Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, and begin to hate each other and maybe creating this pretty badass back and forth rivalry, I feel like that'd be pretty cool. I feel like that'd be pretty cool, 110%. I don't know if Jada Parker's going to get involved again. Obviously, she lost a lot of match, and ever since she lost, she's kind of been going ape stuff. But only time will tell. Right now, I'm going to say, because something that Kaylani Jordan mentioned on the last WWE NXT is that she needs to have a nice prestigious run to be able to kind of make worthy of the NXT, North American Women's Championship. And that's true. That's true. If this title gets fought back and forth, it's going to feel like the 24/7 championship. It's going to feel like the European championship. It's also going to feel like the hardcore championship once when it was, Crash Holly's, the 21st, when it was defended 24/7. Like no one wants to, there's such a thing as too long of a reign and there's such a thing as too short. Like you have to have that perfect balance between both. So, Kaylani Jordan, I think successfully defends her championship tonight. All right, now we have the NXT North American Championship in the men's division. You have Obafemi against the champion defending against Wesley. Wesley is absolutely desperate. This is his last chance to win the NXT North American Championship, the prestigious title that he made. God, and I really honestly don't want him to win. I don't want Wesley to win. I feel like he at this point, like like I always say, I respect the journey that he's made to kind of make it back into, but I don't know, it's just it would just be so I can't even explain it. It would just be so cliche. Be so cliche. You have the longest reigning WWE NXT North American champion dethrone the second place longest reigning North American champion in Obafemi. But Obafemi has been dominant. He's been, once again, you can have that question in terms of professional wrestling. There's always that two dominant champion, kind of like what you saw Rhea Ripley, kind of like what you saw with The Fiend, where these guys are just too big to beat, like Brock Lesnar. And you're like, oh, so we kind of have to have someone with a little finesse, with a little more, agile, a little more, flexibility to be able to kind of make the title defenses, more unpredictable. Because it seems like if once Nova Femini gets in the ring with really anybody right now, I don't really feel like anybody really has a chance. So tonight we have Obafemi going against Wes. Not tonight, but tomorrow is going against Obafemi for the. This is Wesley's last chance. If he loses, he can't challenge again. Next, we have Carmen Petrovich and Ariana Grace, both Canadian natives, taking on JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, the bad girls of WWE NXT. Once again, WWE's kind of in that spot where they're gonna pander to the crowd a little bit. They're gonna Like, you have Sami Zayn that's fighting on, on Money in the Bank. And then you have Carmen Petrovic and Ariana Grace, Canadians, going to be I feel like Ariana Grace is going to come out with like representing like the Maple Leaf flag, maybe singing the Canadian national anthem. And she's just going to get total baby faced. And I think they pick up the victory. I think some way, somehow, although I feel like JC Jane and Jasmine Nix are highly kind of out of both of their leagues, I feel like somehow, some way they're going to get the victory. So tonight, well, on NXT Heatwave, Petrovic and Grace pick up the victory. Definitely think that's going to be in the future. Next, we have Roxanne Perez, the WWE NXT World Women's Champion, taking on Lola Vice. Lola Vice had a pretty emotional promo last week on NXT. It was pretty big. It's pretty big. It got a lot of hate online. People said it was fake. People said she's never cut a good promo before, so what the hell is she even doing? But we all know that Lola Vice isn't going to win. And if she does, it's going to be like that boyhood dream. But at NXT Heatwave, I don't know why. I kind of look at these WWE PLEs that aren't big, like the Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania. I don't know. I just don't see. But then NXT is different, so I'm not, clinking my head too much. So I feel like right now I got Roxanne Perez at 85%, and I got Lola Vice at that slight 15%. If you want to take that to the bank, take it to the bank. But I think Roxanne Perez retains her title here. All right, and lastly, we have Trick Williams in a fatal four-way match, defending his WWE NXT World Heavyweight Championship against Ethan Page, Shawn Spears, and Javon Evans. This is kind of go off one by one. Javon Evans, he's still pretty damn young. He can go feud with a lot of other people. This could possibly kind of drive a wedge between him and Trick Williams to the point where they fight one-on-one in the future. Shawn Spears, I feel like if Shawn Spears has the title, it would bring WWE NXT to kind of like a new era that I feel like Shawn Michaels isn't ready to kind of take it in yet. If Ethan Page wins, I wouldn't mind if Ethan Page wins, to be honest. I wouldn't mind. I don't think it's going to win. I think ultimately Trick Williams is going to retain. But Trick Williams, he doesn't have to be pinned. He doesn't have to be pinned in this match, which is the ultimate alibi in terms of professional wrestling when it comes to, all right, let's let the champion lose the champion. But like when people doubt his credibility as champion, they're like, whoa, what are you talking about? Well, I lost it in the fatal four-way. I wasn't even pinned. This could possibly be a way to kind of scapegoat that out. But I don't know. I feel like this is going to be an awesome pay-per-view. I either have Trick Williams retaining or Ethan Page winning, to be honest. But Ethan Page is still a newcomer. Something totally shocking would be Shawn Spears. I am like 5% Javon Evans. I'm at 45% Trick Williams. I'm at like, man, it's so hard. It's hard. It's hard to hit on predictions, But overall, I feel like this pay-per-view, this PLE is going to be pretty badass. Can't wait to watch it on Sunday. So, yeah. All right, guys. Next, we're going to talk about how important is this Money in the Bank. Obviously, under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, behind the scenes in WWE, they're trying so hard to kind of erase kind of that Vince McMahon, kind of aura that WWE still, I feel like, has. So yeah, we're going to dive on into the subject matter. So, hey, do not go anywhere.